All right. Do we want to talk about Mass Effect?
I want to talk about Mass Effect
Coach,
because I feel like there's so many people on the forums
It's
and in
terrible.
the world in general who just don't understand.
They
There
did.
are a lot of people
How
on
awesome.
the forums and in the world in general.
That's a
Come
really
on,
good
man. Hey
observation.
man, don't let's not get us sidetracked. So the ending to Mass Effect 3 was awesome, and it was so awesome that no one in the world it went right over everyone's heads. They just didn't get it because it was so good. My first gut reaction, and I don't know how you felt about it,
I really didn't care the first time I did it. I was like, oh, cool, closure.
but
it was
like
closure to me, but
No, I mean like the closure thing. Like you just said, like
there was none.
Well, he just said that he had closure.
I had closure to myself just knowing that Shepard was done. That was enough closure for me. I really didn't care about the other cast. I was like, all right, definite ending. I died.
I see. It's not. I wasn't upset because Shepard died. You know, I always thought that was a possibility
The
that
only
you
thing I was upset about was the similarities between all the other.
that I was not happy with that.
Really,
And
same cutscene, just different dialogue.
yeah, the whole idea with the catalyst and they made it seem there just really wasn't a good choice to make. You know, controlling the Reapers out of the question. This was the synthesis bullcrap. That's well, no, I don't want to kill the Reapers, but to kill the Reapers, you got to kill off all the Geth, and that's a pain in the butt because I just spent the last 2 games, like, you know, converting the Geth to my cause, and then
These guys are good
getting
now.
them to like help the Quarians, and like the Quarians are gonna gain so much from
Now
it, and
the
then all of a
kids-
sudden, that's how the rest of the world interprets the ending. They assume that that's really the ending, but the beautiful thing about it is that's not the ending at all. From the time Shepard and friends bull rush the conduit, and you get caught up in Harbinger's blast or whatever. It's
Yeah.
from basically from then on to the rest of the game is not real. It's a dream. It's happening in Shepard's head, and it makes a ton of sense when you put all the pieces together. But it happened. It was so subtle, which is why it was so awesome. This is what makes it so awesome. In the lore, they talk about how indoctrination is so subtle. Even in the first games, Saren says something like the transition from servant to slave or something is a subtle transition. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, the whole sequence, you go up to the Citadel, you meet with Anderson, the elusive man, and then you fire up the catalyst and it does something stupid. And
giggity.
anyway, Shepard and friends, they bull rush the conduit, and like, you know, Harbinger's blowing away the Makos and the Hammerheads, like all the tanks there, and then you get caught up in the blast, and you wake up, right? And when you wake up, you know, your armor's all blown to crap, you're like bleeding.
Okay, I got you.
And you hear the sniper guy, he's on your radio, he's like, no, the entire force was decimated, and they're full retreat, whatever. From that point on, it's a dream. It's all in Shepard's head. And if we talk about the endings, they're all identical except for the colors of the explosion. But you get a perfect ending and you choose to destroy all synthetics, you get an additional scene. So in that scene is a camera, it's like panning by like concrete and rubble and stuff, and it stops on like an armored chest and with N7 dog tags on it, and it takes a breath. It's like, and it goes to credits.
Now, real quick, let's talk about the concrete and rubble and like what's
That's
inconsistent
significant
about
because when Shepard, no matter what he chooses up on the Citadel, he dies. Seemingly dies.
Yeah.
And so, you know, on the Citadel, it's all like space metal. It's all shiny and stuff. And
Space
let's talk about things. First off, if you're on the Citadel and it blows up in space, if he's got a body left, he's gonna be like floating around or something. He's not gonna be laying in something. Another interesting thing about the rubble is the conduit has a bright blue glow. There's a bright blue glow, like ambient glow coming from the background. So he's obviously still laying on the ground outside the conduit.
That's an interesting point.
See, and I don't understand how people can dispute that. Like, he's obviously not on the Citadel. But okay, whatever. You know, if you want to dispute that, let's start with the hard facts. So let's talk about the Catalyst Kid.
I've never even watched it, and I hate that kid already.
Okay. The opening scene. What makes the indoctrination theory so awesome is that it starts at the very beginning of the game, and they leave breadcrumbs the entire time, and they're easy to, like, you know, just, you know, sweep under the rug and forget about it, you know?
Wait. So what you're saying is the theory doesn't actually only happen after he's knocked out. You're saying this kind
No, man, they leave hints.
They Tarantino it.
I'm saying,
All
I'm
right,
telling you,
let's go. I wanna
man,
hear
there are
it.
hints going all the way back to the first game. We will get to
Whoa,
those.
whoa,
all the way
whoa.
back to the first game.
Whoa.
We'll get to it.
Memento, you people.
We'll
Hope
get
you've
to
seen
it. Don't worry. Let's start with the Catalyst Kid. The opening scene of the game is a kid playing with like a toy Alliance cruiser or whatever, and Shepard is watching out his window, and you kind of get, oh, it's just a kid having fun, right? So so Shepard goes into the council room with the Alliance war captains or whatever, and the Reapers hit. And him and Anderson are trying to escape. You know the part when him and Anderson go into the room and they're like trying to get this door open. You pry the door open for Anderson. He goes in. Before Shepard can go in, he hears like some noise in like a ventilation shaft or something. He looks back. It's that kid that was playing with the Alliance cruiser. So he goes and you can help the kid out. He'd be like, "Come on, take my hand, kid. We'll get out of here." Like Indiana Jones and the little kid, you know? Yeah. So so the kid says, "You can't help me," and then Anderson looks back in the room. He said, "Shepard, this way." And so Shepard looks towards Anderson. He looks back to the kid. The kid's gone. And I was like, all right, so the kid just scampered off. Big deal. But here's something now this is one of the things I caught immediately, but unless you put it all together, you're not going to figure it out.
It's a puzzle.
It's a puzzle. It's a big puzzle, and you don't even have the picture on the box to look at. So
still doesn't help.
It's a terrible marketing scheme.
So Shepard looks toward Anderson. He looks back to the shaft. You know, the kid's gone. But I thought it was outside of Anderson's character to not acknowledge that the kid was there or needed help. Would you agree? Don't you think Anderson obviously would have heard the kid talking? I mean, he wasn't that far away. So that's the first sign that something wasn't necessarily right. So anyway, you finally get to the Normandy, and as the ship is lifting off, you can see the kid. He's like trying to get to the evac shuttles. No one is helping him. Right? Don't you think that's a little bit strange that none of the adults are trying to help the little kid up onto the shuttle?
Little kids
No,
suck.
because clearly they're trying to kill this kid.
They're trying to get off the planet, right? Shepard is watching this kid like it's like a I don't know. It's kind of like an emotional scene because you're like, I'm not gonna lie, I was sad.
Feel anything.
Anyway, so the kid stumbles onto the shuttle and they close the door and the shuttles take off and bam, the Reapers shoot the shuttles right out of the sky. So you're thinking, oh, this little kid died. I tried to help him, and I was like, I kind of failed or something. So, whatever, you go to Mars. You complete the Mars mission. Okay. You go back to the Normandy. You have a dream, right? Where you're running through the forest. It's kind of like Earth. It's supposed to represent Earth or whatever in the dream.
I saw a park bench, some trees,
There were-
and
there
I
were-
said, this is stupid.
Yeah,
I didn't have an assault rifle in my hand. I didn't care. Yeah, to be honest, I care less about kids.
Well, anyway, okay.
This is how
So-
it crosses into real life.
You try to get basically you're trying to help the kid in the dream, and when you get
Yeah,
up to him,
that's
when you
why
catch
I
up to
did
him, the kid catches on fire and disappears or
That
whatever,
was
and then
my
you
favorite
wake
part
up,
of the game.
and then you wake up. So, and you have like 3 of these dreams. You have 3 of these dreams throughout the whole game, and we're gonna kick it back to. Actually, you know what? Let's fast forward. You're on the Citadel. Platform rises you up. Catalyst Kid walks out. He's like the ghost figure of the kid that you left back on Earth.
I didn't know he was the Jedi.
What?
Because he came back in blue ghost.
Oh yeah. Well, see. Okay, so the first time I saw this, I was like, is he having like a spiritual experience or something here? What is this?
Really?
And then
You didn't
and
believe that until, oh, it's AI.
if it's an AI, right? I just assumed that maybe it was Shepard, that's how it was a showing itself to Shepard in a form he would understand or something. But how would a computer know what the kid looked like? I mean, how could it? So
Satellite.
it didn't make sense to me. But I was just like, whatever. It's the end of the game. They're allowed to pull strings like that or some crap.
It's
something.
BioWare. I'm letting them get away with it.
So-
I let them get away with Dragon Age 2.
So yeah, let's okay, the dreams. You got basically the shadowy smoky figures that kind of that are whispering to you and crying out for help and stuff. Okay, you go back to the first game, the Arachnite Queen. Do you remember talking to the Arachnite Queen when she's describing indoctrination to you? Yes. She says, "Oh, this one thing I'm about to tell you is dead giveaway. You open and shut case right here, but I just hope everyone's ready." She describes the Reaper indoctrination. They were big on songs. Remember, the Rachni were always like singing and stuff. And they said they saw visions of songs with the smoky figures like crying out for help or something. And that's easy. That's easy. Like Shepard's dreams is like these smoky wisps of figures. Caden died in Mass Effect 1, and he was one of the voices that I heard. So there you go. Open and shut case. It's indoctrination.
There you have it.
But if that's not enough, for you, let's. Here's another. This one is just. You can't dispute it. It takes place in Shepard's mind. It's the dream. It's in the dream part. So you're running down the hill. There's nothing there. But when you wake up, and if you look around, this is subtle. If you look around, there are trees from the dream, all around the conduit. How did they get there? They weren't there before. I went to sleep. I wake up, and now they're there. Dead giveaway. It's indoctrination. But if that's not enough, why does Shepard's pistol have infinite ammo? Did you notice that? That's another thing when he wakes up. Here's another interesting point. Okay, if the entire force was decimated on the ground, Admiral Hackett's talking to the sniper guy. Hackett says, "Did we get anybody in there?" The guy says, "No. Retreat. Entire force decimated." But when you're up on the Citadel, Hackett comes over your radio and starts talking to you. How does he know you're there? As far as he knows, no one got in, and the entire force was decimated. The conversation between Elusive Man
It is in
yourself,
slow motion whenever he first wakes up.
that is true. Hey, and the dreams were in slow motion, weren't they? There you go. That's something I had not thought of. So the conversation between Anderson, Elusive Man, and yourself. I forget what the line is. Elusive Man says something about, I guess, why he wants to, or why he can't control the Reapers or something. Anderson says, "Don't listen to them; they're controlling you," or something. But it's something that he should say to Elusive Man. You'd think he would turn and look at Elusive Man, but he looks right at you. He looks right at Shepard and says, "Don't listen to them; they're controlling you." And this is supposed to signify Elusive Man represents the part of your brain that is indoctrinated by the Reapers, and Anderson represents the part of your brain that is trying to fight. He's trying to fight off the indoctrination. So and here's the scene. Elusive Man gets the gun and he's gonna kill Anderson, but you've got a renegade option to kill Elusive Man, right? If you don't take it, then he will kill off Anderson, right? He kills off the part of your brain that's resisting. Me personally, I shot Elusive Man dead as soon as I could. I was waiting for it. Come on, just let me pull the trigger, man.
Okay, so speaking to the sort of battle going on in your head between, I guess, like you said, Elusive Man is giving into indoctrination. Anderson is fighting it.
It's true.
Ultimately, doesn't that come down to what your decision is at the end then? If you don't choose to kill them off option, aren't you effectively giving into the indoctrination?
Yes. There are three choices. 2 choices represent you giving into the indoctrination. 1 choice represents you resisting. So let's talk about the choice. When you're going down the ramp, you've got 3 choices. On the left, you have control. In the middle is synthesis. On the right is destroy. So, here's something I noticed immediately: the colors. Control is like cast in a blue light, which is typically the Paragon thing, and destroy is cast in a orange, like renegade. So that was something that jumped out to me immediately. But they show Elusive Man controlling that's like the blue option, and like Anderson destroying is in red, the renegade option. And they kind of make it sound like Elusive Man was right, which the moral I don't know how. Yeah, the moral alignment or whatever, it just didn't work out for me. But so basically, controlling you can't control what's controlling you, so it's an obvious you're giving into the Reapers. Synthesis, it just doesn't work. There's not space magic, this popular term floating around on the forums. And if you will recall, in the first game, Saren wanted to ally organics with the Reapers and have an alliance, and that he was kind of leaning towards synthesis, not in the same fashion, but it didn't work for him. So only by destroying the Reapers are gonna get away. So, here's an interesting thing. When you take the control method, you'll notice the Catalyst Kid. The camera kind of cuts back to him it's kind of a strange shot, but because he's all kind of smoky and ghost-like, it doesn't really. It's kind of hard to tell. But he kind of grins. He kind of has like a weird, creepy little kid grin on his face when you like do the control method.
Like I said, don't like kids.
when you blow the place up, he like as soon as you take a shot at it, he's instantly gone. This represents Harbinger. He realizes he's beaten. He's got to do something else now. He instantly leaves.
And you're saying that BioWare purposely caused this dilemma to happen.
Yeah. I think it's
colors, the morality.
It's because it's Harbinger in your brain, and he's trying to play off your morality, your sense of honor. He's trying to appeal to, I'm a Paragon guy. He's like, hey, this is the Paragon thing to do. Do the right thing. Whereas he casts, what would go against his plan in a negative light, indoctrination. I rest my case. All the forum trolls can go home and complain about Naruto or whatever they watch. Something else I was thinking of. I don't know. It's something you mentioned. Oh, BioWare. They did this on purpose. Why I think it's so awesome is because it just goes to show how subtle the indoctrination process is. It went over everyone's head. And the reason why is like, how often would you have ever thought Shepard would be susceptible to indoctrination? I mean, they are technically, but in video games, we're used to the idea that like the character we control is sort of above the rules in the universe they're in.
That's what I hate.
Okay, so anyway, if this is really what happens, it's really indoctrination.
It is indoctrination.
Okay, it is indoctrination. So that begs the question of what's next.
The
well,
DLC
unfortunately,
will tell you
DLC, but at this point,
they aren't changing it. They are going to use the DLC as elaboration, but what they will probably do is just explain it.
So for the people that still haven't caught on, they're gonna just come out and say it.
Yeah, they're gonna.
And those people are gonna feel stupid once they get it because I've been trying to tell them on the forums, and all they do is troll me. They're just so mean about it. And it's just.
Well, that's your first part. It's on the internet. We're
forum.
gonna have it.
I feel like
here. It's gonna happen.
I feel like Shepard felt as the first and second games. I'm like, guys, the Reaper's coming. They're like, shut up, Commander Shepard. I'm like, no, guys, I'm trying to help us all out. The Reaper's coming. And they finally get here, the third game, and I'm just sitting here like, told you, bro.
I'm sitting down.
I'm setting this one out.
I'm letting it happen.
This year's Turian Council
this.
member.
You did this, damn Solarian. Wanna ask? Now we're talking about the DLC.
Yeah, it's your.
Whenever it comes out, it essentially does what you just did. Explained it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna say to all the trolls that said, you know what? They didn't have all this planned. They just wrote it all out afterwards.
Honestly, I'm probably not gonna pay attention to the forums since I won't. They're just
because
gonna do
that's what's
want.
gonna happen.
That is what's gonna happen. I haven't even thought about that.
Know all this. They just came up.
Well,
with
they just
something
did it
real
because
fast.
we all started crying about it.
Actually, honestly, I believe it's all a dream. 2 and 3. Pylon, first game. The obelisk.
Still in it. Still in the. That would make me sad.
That's my own.
That really would. They won't do that because that really would ruin the games. Anyway, I bought the game, and I don't even have the real ending with it. What the heck? It's like Half-Life 2 all over again.
You do have the real ending with it. Real ending. Much
and it
like
is beautiful.
Ooh.
I'm like punching Reaper's faces.
Much like
Biotic punch.
The ending in the game is in your head.
Well,
Technically,
where's
2
it
out of
start?
3 are the real ending. If you succumb to Reaper indoctrination, well, like your story's over. But
Good point.
if you
That's a
take the
good
third
point.
ending, you get the perfect ending, and you're still alive.
Where do you come back? Go ahead.
You're gonna come back in front of the conduit.
And then the first DLC is nothing but them telling you what happened. Get high fives. No missions.
So there you have it, folks. ME3.
Indoctrination.
Indoctrination theory.